Good afternoon, everybody. It's your friend Cheap Ludes. I am ready to talk about the new content in NBA 2K23 My Team. I have been busy for the last 48 hours fixing every little thing about my apartment because there's a lot wrong with it. In case you're wondering where I've been. Also, shout out to the people who were firing off fireworks right next to my window until 3 a.m. the past 2 nights. Because I definitely don't need to sleep as a 31-year-old man or anything. It's all good. I can just operate on no sleep. It's fine. It's definitely okay for my mental health. I promise. It's all good. Now we got new packs tomorrow, but they're not new. They're the same. Honestly, really cutting down on the excitement of new content when we do this endgame stuff. I am a very vocal opponent of the endgame concept in general because I just think it's super boring, and 2K made it even more boring this year by just giving them all the exact same SIGs and releases, so it's whatever. But we got Derrick Rose, Manu, Lamar Odom, Chris Bosh. I'm more excited about the Invincibles than I am the actual endgame cards. They're just as unattainable for the most part as far as pulling them from packs. It's just they're at least kind of different, I think. Some of them aren't going to be very different. I'll talk about that too. Starberry and Anderson Varejao are here. I know we've all been clamoring for both of those guys heavily, especially Anderson Varejao. I know that the calls for 99 overall Anderson Varejao have been ringing through the streets for months, but here we are. We got LeBron, Kobe, MJ, and Tim Duncan, which means for sure next time we're getting Yao Ming or Taco or Giannis or who's the other one? Ben Simmons. Yeah. Jokic would be another one that we're probably going to get relatively soon. So we'll start with the dud of the set, Anderson Varejao, who I'm sure is going to just tumble out of packs at a rate that is going to make most people angry and uncomfortable for sure. 6'11", 7'3" wingspan. Honestly, I just don't care. He's got Shaq release, and I honestly don't think they're going to change it. I think they're going to keep him with Shaq release. Maybe they give him a Kuzma or something, but I think for the most part we're probably looking at an Anderson Varejao with Shaq release. It's going to fall out of packs about 100 times more than any other card, which I don't know about you. Sounds exciting, truly. I do like Anderson Varejao's hair. I always wish I could have got my hair that curly, I'll just look like the dude from... Is that from High School Musical? Yeah, I was going to say Troy, but that's Zac Efron. I know one character. Excuse me. Not being up on my knowledge of Disney Channel original musicals, but the other guy. Looks like the other guy. I think his name's Corbin. That just sounds right. Anyways, looking at Chris Bosh, honestly, do you care about Stephon Marbury? I guess. If you care about Stephon Marbury, I'll look him up, but he's the exact same as Derrick Rose. They're going to be identical. What Derrick Rose is exactly what Marbury is going to be. Shout out to the Diamond Marbury from earlier this year, though. He did hold down my point guard position for a long period of time, so for that, I kind of respect him, but we'll just talk about Derrick Rose since they're going to be essentially identical with some changes, right? The changes are going to be the animations. Marbury is going to look exactly like this Derrick Rose from an animation standpoint. Derrick Rose, being that he's an invincible, he'll be maxed out. He'll have elite dribble sigs. It's just also it's 2 6'3" point guards. Does anyone care? I really don't think they do. Personally, I'm excited to have Derrick Rose for Bulls fan purposes. That's if I can actually get him, because I'm sure he'll be expensive, so whatever. Manu Ginobili, shout out to everybody who was in the stream the other day where this hero Manu absolutely cooked me in an unlimited game. I'm not even kidding. I could not stop this dude from pick and roll rim running me with this hero Manu. Every single possession, I'm dead serious. I think he had 36 points. It was super frustrating. This card was already almost invincible level anyway. Most of the hero cards are, so it's just kind of what more can they really do to Manu? He already had a good release with Karis LeVert too. I'm just going to guess they KPJ him out. The likelihood we get an endgame Manu, minuscule, right? So chances are they're just going to turn this invincible Manu into what would be considered an endgame Manu. So we're going to have KPJ release, meta dribble sigs, just basically going to be an endgame card in everything but name. So if that excites you, if you're a Spurs fan, cool. If not, whatever. I like seeing Manu with the hair, though. I hate seeing old bald man Manu. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. It makes me uncomfortable. It reminds me of my own mortality, perhaps. I still got hair, though. We're still cooking out here. We got volume, dude. It's what's up. Lamar Odom should be the kind of it card in the set. All the sets of Invincibles are going to have like one card that's like so severely better than the other ones. It's bordering on criminal. We saw that with Danny Granger. We saw that with Penny. And we're seeing that with Lamar Odom as well. He's a 6'10 point guard because he plays small forward point guard. Honestly, I've always preferred Lamar Odom at the small forward, but I think this is the year where I really prefer him at the point guard because that's just how the game is, you know? Honestly, the fact that we're looking at somebody who's 6'10 and being like, I don't know if I can play him, man, he's like too small to handle Victor is crazy. Right? He's not going to have Ousmane Dieng release, so you can go ahead and push that out of your head. At least I would hope not. If I had to guess, I would say they give him Kuzma, O'Shea, maybe Kevin Porter Jr., and there's like another one. Markelle Fultz would kind of be the other one, I would guess. They're going to give him, and obviously he'll have way better dribble six too, and he'll have elite level tendencies, attributes, badges, etc. I mean, he's an invincible card, you know what I mean? You know what you're getting. Lamar Odom will be fire. He probably will initially be over 100K, and then he'll probably cool down, I think, especially because we're going to start getting like a bevy of larger point guards here pretty soon. Typically, Lamar Odom is one of like the last kind of quote-unquote rare big point guards before we start getting crazy big point guards. Like, they're going to start doing out-of-position drops like heavily here pretty shortly. That's my prediction anyway. And then we got Bosch. It's sad that we're at a point where 6'11 Chris Bosch is like quote-unquote too small to run it power forward. Like, that is a wild concept to me. Get out of here, old lady. But like, realistically, that's where we're at. It's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in. I don't know what they do, though, with him in general. I'm assuming they change his release. They probably give him like Kuzma or O'Shea. O'Shea probably more likely, I would guess. And then he'll have like meta dribble moves. He'll be able to move relatively well. I mean, this Bosch wasn't that bad anyway. This Bosch was pretty good. It's just no one used him because people were running power forward taco and stuff. So what was the point? But they'll kind of meta-size him out, and he'll be essentially also, oh, cool, a scratch-off game. That's cool. Oh, thank you for Progressive Car Insurance. That's dope. Something about the way they heavy-handedly advertise to me just leads me to believe that Progressive is sketchy. I'm sorry. I have no factual evidence to back this up, but the way they push their advertisements on me at a near constant basis leads me to believe that they're sketchy. Kind of like whenever I see Shaq with a product, I just assume that product sucks. It sells a lot, but it sucks. That's just how I feel. Bosch should be good, though. I guess. I mean, you want me to sing the praises of Chris Bosch? I don't know what to tell you. Like, Bosch hasn't been really that good since like the Pantheon one, like a couple years ago. He was pretty good there for like budget players, though. Now let's talk end games. It's like I don't even want to talk about them because they're all the same anyway. RIP to everyone who bought. I don't know. I don't want to say that, actually. The reason I don't want to say that is because I think the Corver base for a lot of people is actually better than Kevin Porter Jr., right? It's the dribble sigs that people don't like. But we just got this card a month ago. We're already getting an endgame point guard version, so, you know, that is what it is. Also, like, his tendencies for an invincible card are, like, horrendous when you really look at it. So you could tell that they were gearing up to sell you another version of LeBron. I wouldn't even be shocked to see 2-3 more versions of LeBron by the end of the year, honestly. He plays point guard, though, so he's 6'9", 7-foot wingspan. It's LeBron. Like, I don't know what to tell you, you know? Cool. Then we got 2K24, I know, shocker, nobody saw that coming. Cover athlete, Kobe Bryant, 6'6", 6'11 wingspan, cool. That doesn't seem right. Maybe it is, I just don't know. I mean, dude, I'm sorry, I'm not an encyclopedic knowledge of NBA attributes. Like, I don't know everyone's wingspan, okay? Sometimes I just have to take the game at its word, which is not a good idea when you're playing 2K. Typically, it's wrong, so whatever. Everyone's going to be gassed on this Kobe card. Because he doesn't have Kobe Bryant base, which is released that I don't think is bad, but it's not quite meta enough for most people. So yeah, he'll be cracked out. I mean, there's nothing really to say here. Then we got Jordan. Honestly, I use Invincible Jordan right now. And he's got the KPJ lower with the Michael Jordan upper, which honestly, I'm sad to see that go. He's got the Michael Jordan motion style. Cool. Everything else is looking pretty on point, though. I mean, he's going to have a few changes here or there, but it's really not going to be that much different than this card. Like, the upper is going to be different. They're going to change around some of the dribble sigs for sure. But for the most part, it's just this card's kind of like close to endgame tier anyway. So really, what's the point? If you have Invincible Jordan, just keep Invincible Jordan, because like endgame Jordan's going to be way more expensive for literally no reason. So there's that. Tim Duncan is the cool one, though. If you thought they were going to give you a free endgame Tim Duncan if you grind for the other Tim Duncan, you are sorely mistaken. I am mad there's no Dr. J, though, speaking of, like, grinding. Kind of need a new Dr. J at some point. That'd be cool. You know, that's just how I feel. Everything I said about Chris Bosh goes for Tim Duncan as well. But because he's an endgame card, I think people give it a little bit more of a pass for sure. Because he's going to be able to move better than a lot of big men out there. Granted, he might be, quote-unquote, exposed in the rebounding game. Honestly, majority of rebounding in this game is controlled by algorithm and your CPU anyway. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because I'll have Victor and Yao out there and I'll be getting consistently out-rebounded by somebody who's rocking like a 6'11 center just because the game decides that it needs to be like that. And you could tell me it's a skill issue, but honestly, I just don't think it is. I think it's who has the better players, who has the taller players, and then just who the game decides it wants to get rebounds, honestly. So if you want to use Tim Duncan, go use Tim Duncan. It really doesn't matter. Obviously, we know what release he's going to have. He's going to have Kevin Porter Jr. Cool. He's going to have the KPJ base. Honestly, I forgot what the upper is already. I know everyone hates it, but so I think I just like tuned it out. What is it again? It's Sadiq Bey. Everyone hates this upper. I really don't think it's that bad, but people do kind of despise it personally. The fact of the matter is, though, like the reason I clicked Embiid is it's like Tim Duncan's going to move a little bit better than Embiid, but not that much. And honestly, you can get this Embiid for free, so just go do that. If you're looking for like a, I don't know, like a meta card, just run him at power forward. You don't need to go spend $50 on Tim Duncan. I mean, realistically, no one's picking Tim Duncan out of this option pack. Like MJ, Kobe, and LeBron are here. Nobody's picking Tim Duncan. I personally prefer Tim Duncan. Like, that's who I would pick, just to be a contrarian. But for the most part, people are not going to pick Tim Duncan. So let's go take a look and see if the market is going to be affected even remotely by this. Spoiler alert, I don't think it will be. You only have 16 more hours to buy these horrendous endgame Shaq packs. If you want to, like, waste your MT for no reason, you should do that. I got hoed on my Yao Ming, in case you guys were wondering. I put him up at a pretty opportune time when we got about 500k, so it is what it is, though. I mean, it's better than just like having him waste away in my collection and not doing anything with him, so it's not a big deal, but still kind of pain. Anderson Varejao will slot nicely right here. I'm sure I'll pull just as many Varejaos as I did Larry Johnsons over the next like 7 days. I actually am almost guaranteed that's going to happen because it's 2k. Now, is anyone specifically going to take a market hit based on any of these cards coming out? We're starting to get into the quote-unquote out of position kind of time period where we're starting to get like point guard LeBrons, like point guard Odoms and stuff, and we really haven't had that before, so I don't think they really affect anyone specifically. Like, there's going to be certain guys that are affected. Like, obviously, Michael Jordan and Kobe will be down in price quite a bit because they're getting new versions, period, tomorrow. Kobe especially, I feel like will be affected more than like MJ will. That's just kind of how I feel about that. Someone like Magic Johnson will be affected. He's already like a buyout, but you know, he'll go cheaper and cheaper because now you can get Lamar Odom, who's going to be like better and kind of does what he does. So there's that. What about LeBron, dude? LeBron, I mean, he's still, because it's Bron, will still be like over 150k, but his price is going to continue to fall. As you can see, a lot of people are putting up their bronze. I actually prefer Corver base over Kevin Porter Jr. Honestly, I don't know if that's because I like it more or I'm just sick and tired of KPJ. Like, I just don't know. I truly have no idea. The only reason I've had to get used to it is because I thought I was getting Kristaps and Durant during that pack opening that one day, and like I only got Durant, and honestly I wouldn't have spent that. I would have just waited. So I kind of regret that like massively. I would have just picked up Danny Granger eventually anyway, so it's like whatever. But I don't think there's really any cards, at least that I can think of, that will see any type of noticeable decrease based on the cards that we're getting. I really don't think that's going to happen. Just based on the positions we're seeing. Like, even in the end games, like, I don't think any of these guys, like, maybe Jimmy Butler goes down a little bit, but you're still looking at, like, 150 to 500K for all of these anyway. Probably somewhere in the middle, around 300K, but that's just my personal estimate. So, hey, it is what it is. It's been your friend Sheep Loots. I will see you guys later. I will be back opening packs tomorrow. I know I shouldn't do that, but, you know, your boy's a maniac. What can I say? come hang out while I struggle to pull anything worth any type of value whatsoever. And, wish me a good weekend, man.